my name is Carine Delacroix. I'm from Europe, born and raised in Paris, in Austria. And then I moved to America. I need to improve my English, but I grew up being a dancer. So I used to be always fit all my life. My mom put me in dance school at 3 years old. And then I was dancing for 10 hours every week. And then it started being to the point where, you get older. My dad wanted me to do judo and then gymnastic and then, just very very active kid, and then when I turned like 20s, I had to like make a decision about what I was going to do. My dad didn't want me to be a dancer, because I wanted to do that as a professional dancer. My dad said it's not a real job. So he's looking out for us and as a kid, and they don't, back in the day, they don't really have much more. They think like you need to have like an actual income, like a regular income. So I want to be a flight attendant. So then I decided I need to improve my English because I was not speaking fluent English. So when that happened, I kind of moved Europe, and then I was not dancing and not active anymore. So when I moved to America, then I find out about fitness and all the magazine and everything that we don't have or we didn't have at the time. 10 years ago in Europe, no girls, no woman goes in a gym. A gym were not a big thing in Europe. People like their idea of fitness is going on a jog on a Sunday in Paris. So, everyone smokes. And, but we do walk a lot though. So it's different. It's a different lifestyle. We still walk. So when I moved there and I started trying all the food in America and burgers and everything, I started putting on weight. So I was like, okay, this is not, I want to be that girl in the magazine. And I started at the time my ex was a trainer, and then it just got me into the gym. And then from there, it just kind of was natural. People thought I was a Russian powerlifter because I am tall and very strict, very cold faced, the beach face all the time. So people thought I was like naturally a Russian, sorry, I'm outside, a Russian powerlifter. And then it just made me thinking like I actually have a natural thing. I never really learned how to do this movement or deadlift and things like that. And it just kind of was like a second nature kind of thing. And I found since I was not dancing as much anymore, even though I started doing some dancing at, Broadway Dance Center in New York City, it was not as a professional level anymore. So I kind of put my energy into dancing. My energy into dancing, and then I put it into bodybuilding and powerlifting, because I just needed this. I just need to be active. I just love this. And then from there on, just, everything is history. Just bodybuilding, tried powerlifting, and then just been training ever since, going through my ups and downs of, battling eating disorder, growing up and always being the taller kid, always being not overweight, but bigger bones, and always being compared to the girls in my dance class that are like smaller size. It kind of like puts a lot of mental issue that you don't realize growing up, that I always had to be careful what I eat. So I don't, I've always been not a fat kid, but I love to eat. And people say like, oh, you've never been fat, but it's because I actually never stopped working out as a kid. I was always moving and dancing and judo and gymnastic. And my sister was a swimmer. So, but the moment I stopped doing any activities, like I would put on weight during the summer, for example. So that's why when I moved to America and I didn't have this outlet of dancing and moving as much, that's when I started putting on weight, and that's when I found fitness, and I fell in love with it. Then I found some yoga too. So I felt like the yoga and the weightlifting is really, it like combines. It's like a really like a yin and yang kind of thing for me, where it's like the calming thing and then the really powerful thing. And I just found like those together really helped me, channel my my energy or whatever. But then I had like the eating disorder that I didn't realize at the time. And then I guess at the time it was also very taboo. You have a coach and it just give you a meal plan, a diet, and then you just follow, and then you can't you can follow through, and then you feel like you're a failure, and then it just gets you into this vicious cycle of binge eating, and then it's just years and years of binge eating, and then you finally people start social media start opening up about it, and then I realized like, wow, I'm actually not the only one. It's actual real issue that I never knew before. Like I just it's something that you do when you're in your room by yourself, when you're hiding. So unless you talk to someone about it, you just feel very ashamed about it. So you don't think that it's an actual issue unless you see and you hear other people talking about it. And then you realize, like, actually, I'm not the only one. It's a real thing. So then I started looking into it, and I realized, like, it's an actual problem that I can fix. I just have to work on the actual, the root cause of, the whole thing. So that's why, even though I did powerlifting, bodybuilding, I found what worked for me and what not. But I then, this last few years, I focused more on the eating part. So I was not focusing on I'm still working out. I always work out, but I was not focusing on any physical goal per se. It was more like a mental aspect of the eating, because you both know nutrition is the most important part. You can be working out every day, but I'm the proof that if you don't take care of your diet, you're never gonna look like you lift. Um, so yeah, so that's pretty much where I'm at. Talk a little bit. Sorry, I love talking, so I can talk for a long time. So
Tell us a little bit about, your 75 hard experience.
I was listening. I just love listening to podcasts when I walk, and that's really my thing. So I was listening to his audio podcast. So his podcast, I think it was maybe, like, I don't know, a year or two ago, where I first heard about it. I was like, that will be actually cool. I just love challenges, and you get to a point where it's like, okay, I'm training every day and I'm doing this, but you need something else. I didn't like competing. It was just not for me. I'm not a competitive person. I really didn't care. So I was like, you know what? Why not doing 75 hard? It's free. I have nothing to lose. I'm already kind of working out twice a day anyway. And I'm already drinking 2 gallons of water a day. So it's like, there's a lot of things that would not be that hard for me. It just made sense, really just made sense. And it's like, maybe that's the thing that I need to focus on my diet and to not have any cheats for like 75 days, and to really not, I feel like if I'm the kind of person that if I don't have a goal to look forward to, like a vacation, a photo shoot or something, I will tell myself, like, oh, it's fine. I can just have whatever this weekend, or this just one meal. And then you get to a point where you're actually on this vicious cycle where I'm just maintaining. Because even though you kind of want to diet or thing, and like you just eat that one meal or that one day, and then it just puts right back where you just started like the week ago. And then, so it's like this whole thing, because I don't have something to look forward to. So I was like, you know what, maybe if I have an actual challenge, because, like a lot of online coaches stuff, they will do like the challenge, like the 12-week challenge thing, that, you get money out of it. But it just, even the money part was not like an actual thing that I wanted to do. It was not like, I just didn't care. Some people are, like they need the money, or they need to be competitive. They are competitive and they need that to actually want to win the challenge. For me, it's just a me thing. And that's the thing with 75 hard. There's no one is behind you. No one is checking on you. It's really like a mental thing. And that's why, as everything happening, and then I was traveling a lot, I'm like, you know what, this is it. I'm going to do it. I need to stop making excuses and just fucking do it. And that's pretty much what happened.
And you kind of mentioned the things that were not initially too challenging for you, like the water and the workouts and things like that. And I always say, like, it's not hard to drink, a gallon of water a day. It's not hard to drink or to work out twice a day. It's not hard to read 10 pages in a day for a day. That's the easy
Yeah,
part. It's hard to do it for 75 days in a row. The
exactly.
consistency, that aspect of it is really the most challenging part. What aspects of the challenge did you find the most challenging?
For me, it's mostly the reading the book. I'm not someone that can sit behind a desk or sitting on the chair for hours. I'm really, really bad at it. I've never been that type of person. I was bad at school. I just cannot sit still. So I like audiobooks and listening to podcasts. So reading the actual 10 pages of the book was really hard. And I just have to do it. And then I found myself actually always wanted to read like 12 pages or like the whole chapter. I just feel like I'm not doing enough. I just need to do more. So I'm always reading, like, you know what, there's 4 pages left. I'm just gonna finish the chapter. It just doesn't make sense. It's like when you watch a TV show, you're not gonna stop at like whatever 30 minutes. You're watching the whole episode, right? So I feel like a book is the same thing. Like once I stop in the middle of the chapter, I'm just, when you start the next day, it's like, okay, I don't know what happened there. So I rather just read the whole chapter, and I find myself just actually reading more, and actually wanting to actually read the chapter. And the second hard part was the diet. Just not having to, just not cheating for, especially that I love chocolate. And, I mean, the alcohol part, I don't really care. I have not had any craving, but it's more the diet. You get to the point that someday you're like really tired and you just want to like, okay, I just want to go get donuts. And we're all human, but no, doing 75 hard, so can't have that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that for me has been the most challenging. Yeah, people that get into this 75 hard and have never done that before, they've never even been active, they see it as such a huge mountain, and they overcomplicate everything, and then they get overworked. And I don't post on the Facebook 75 hard group, but you can see what people post sometimes, and it's like they overthink it. And it's just, you get to a point like, you need to rest. And if you're working out that hard every day, you're not going to make 75 days. You know what I'm saying? It's more about the mental aspect of still moving your body and actually challenging yourself, even when you don't want to do it. But going for a walk doesn't take much, and that's not really working out. Walking is not, I don't consider that working out for me. Some people do. But I feel like people just, you can hear them just, saying they're tired, or they're not used to like dieting that much. So if you diet that much and work out twice a day, I mean, you know, it can be, yeah, people can make it a little too complicated on themselves, I feel like.
Yeah. I think it's human nature almost to just find reasons, even subconsciously, why you shouldn't do something before you find reasons why you should do something. I think when it comes down to it, a plan, and it doesn't necessarily have to be 75 hard, but a plan like 75 hard that just lays it out. Like sometimes that's the best thing that we can do, because it allows us almost to turn our minds off in a way and
Yeah,
just say,
yeah.
this is what we're going to do. And that's it.
Yeah, I feel like that's also what it can. It's not just about 75 hard per se, but it's just about the little goals. The water and the working out, or just going for an actual walk, or like outside thing, and like following a diet are all part of just starting a fitness lifestyle. I feel like, so it can be good for a lot of people, but yeah, some people can overcomplicate things, or just say like, oh no, you're wearing a hat when you go on a walk, like you're not doing 75 hard. Like, I feel like it just, people overlook it, and it's just do it for yourself. It's not a competition. There's no money to win at the end. It's literally just for you, just knowing that you actually did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people say like, no, why can't you have Diet Coke? It's not, what I'm saying? Like, just it's just people just get overcomplicated about things, and they overthinking. But just like you said, once you have an actual plan and you just follow through, it's so much less stress on yourself thinking, what do I have to do today or whatever. You just do it. And then the picture part, I always used to do it, but like once a week, not every week, every day. So that also, it's a motivation for people, because a lot of people don't realize how taking picture is very powerful. Then you can compare yourself every week or every day or every 2 weeks, and that is the motivation itself that sometimes you just need. Like, oh wow, I actually didn't realize that I'm losing weight. So it's just a little thing like that are all very important to starting a fitness lifestyle. I feel like it's all about the mental aspect of doing it, even if you don't want to do it. You're tired, but that's it, you just have to go and do your workout. So it's a good thing about that, though, that
Yeah,
it just push people to start.
absolutely. And I think for me, the most interesting thing that happened for me in my own mind was almost like, if I encountered a challenging situation, whether it be with 75 hard, involved with that, or just involved with another aspect of my life, it was like, if I encountered this challenging situation, I almost pushed myself to do that just because it was challenging, like,
Yeah.
instead of kind of shying away from, well, that could be, uncomfortable, that could be hard to do. It was almost like, well, that's uncomfortable because it's important, or it's uncomfortable because, it's out of my comfort zone and it'll make me a, better person, or, something like that. So I think in my own head, it was almost like I pushed myself towards more challenging things,
Yeah,
with
I've always
75 hard.
people with, for example, people that don't know about 75 hard or know about it, and they're just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Or if you Google it, you can see like the people that think negative about it, or they're just like, oh, 1 gallon of water is too much. You're too, or they just finding an excuse on why it's actually a good thing for you. Like it's there's nothing bad about any of it. People just overthink the working out part, and it's just think they have to kill themselves twice a day. Or but in reality it's really just about the disciplined mind. I've always been someone that just like to make things hard on myself, so I've always been told like you're crazy. uh, but for people, if for example I will ride my bike for an hour in the heat in Arizona, that's just what I do. I like to make things challenging, and I feel like if I don't, like something is just missing. So I feel like 75 hard was kind of like an easy part to get into. I just had to just start,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's interesting you talk about like pushing yourself and making things hard on yourself. And I think a lot of people that don't do that, they aren't almost, it's not exactly comparable to a hard situation in life, but at the same time, I think it's like it gets you ready, or it prepares you for a hard situation in
Yeah.
life. It's like, yeah, okay, I've been riding in the, in the heat of the desert for an hour, for the
Hmm.
last year. So even though it's not like exactly the same as a challenging situation at my job or a challenging situation with my family, like I know what it feels like. I know what my brain feels like whenever I'm under stress, so I can handle it better. I know my body, I know what that feels like whenever it's under stress, so I can handle it better. It's like it's training you physically, and it's building your body, it's building your muscles, making you stronger, all that stuff, but it's also, I think, training you for life, that a lot of people don't really see that aspect of
Mhm.
fitness.
A lot of people don't realize like how fitness is related with life, and if you actually, you know like for example, like if you actually work out, you feel good, right? If you feel good, you're gonna do something, you're gonna be better at your at job, at your work, or you're gonna it's like, okay, I can do anything I set my mind to. Like you think like, oh, so then you're gonna start your business. Everything is actually related to fitness. If you feel like crap, if you're like sluggish, if you eat, if you have diabetes, all of this, you have all this medication to take, and then people just underlook the just going for a walk and having the actually like being in the sun, and like the aspect of just everything in life in general that makes you feel good. And just people like to relate and put everything on medication. Just want a medication for this and this and this, and it's just I see it at work every day, and it just it breaks my heart because it's just think like, well, medication is just the answer for everything, when in reality you can just go for a walk. You can just, if you actually drink your water, you wouldn't be dehydrated and going to the ER every day. If you actually eat well, you wouldn't be feeling like crap and having diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and all these things that are just related to your lifestyle. The way that you
Absolutely.
eat, the way that you walk. The same way that a question I always get is like, how are Europeans just so much slimmer, and then they are not fat, yet they eat so much bread and butter and all this food. We walk everywhere. We literally walk everywhere. To go to the grocery store, to go here, to go get the baguette at night. Like we just walk everywhere. And people overlooked walking as such an important part of just the human being body. Your body is made to move. It's not made to be sitting behind a desk. Like you need to move. That's why I feel like 75 hard isn't, it's not that hard. If you actually want to better yourself, just go for a walk. Just go actually under the sun and drink water, but that will, because everyone's smoking France, everyone's smoking Europe, but people are healthier. So you see, if you kind of like balance it out with like walking a lot and just being more active and not snacking all the time. We don't cheat, like we don't snack. We don't have Starbucks and drinking all those high calorie drinks. We don't have that in Europe. So all those things add up, and people, underestimate how much calorie they actually eat. So that's also a good part of 75 hard, where it tells you like no cheating, no alcohol, which I think is just normal part of life if you want to just being productive. And then if you keep it after 75 hard, that's the good part. But if you just go back to your bad habits right before 75 hard, then there's no point.
Right.
You're just wasting all the work that you've done.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned walking. That's one of the things I did most frequently from outside workout is just, go for a 45-minute walk outdoors. And actually, right before this podcast, I went on a little walk, and it was
Mhm.
just so nice. It's been kind of chilly here the last few days, and it was a nice day here, almost 70. And just going outside in the evening, like you said, under the sun,
Mm.
it just makes you feel, it makes you feel like better, recovered a
Yeah.
little bit from all the craziness and
I mean,
sit.
if you look at it, sorry to cut you. If you look at it, plants, nature, everything in life needs sun and water. It's not that complicated. It's not because we're human beings that we need so much different thing. We're all on the same planet Earth. So why, the everything, the grass and all the green, they grow when there's actual sunshine and water. So it's the same for us. If you know, water and sunshine is a huge essential part of, as for your body, your brain, your mind, just everything.
Figuring out like almost what it is to be human, because we're so far removed from really what it is and how and what it's about. Most people here in America, it's like go, 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 go. And
Yeah.
and you have to, eat as fast as you can. So you go to the fast food, you have to, work as long as you can. So you only get 4 hours of sleep per night. You have to do all these, activities and so okay, now you have to have more energy. So you're drinking, loads of caffeine, and now you're super stressed out, so you have to, drink alcohol every night. So it's just such a weird cycle that we're in, that whenever we do feel like we want to get healthy, quote unquote get healthy, we don't know how to do it, so we just start doing all
Yeah.
these really weird things almost.
Yeah, yeah. People just for some reason they associate being healthy or like fitness with not having fun and not drinking alcohol or just eating boring food, where in reality it's not that at all. We all like fast food. We all, some like to drink, some don't, but having a glass here and there or every night, having your fast food or making it a healthier version of your fast food at home, just little things like that, and people always think like, oh, what supplement do you take? And it's just, it's, yeah, yeah, totally agree.
Working with people, like simply even just being around other people, like what do you think you've learned the most about yourself from doing all that?
That what I do is just a normal thing, like brushing my teeth, and it's not for people. That's when I realized, like, okay, maybe I should just try to be more active on social media and try to help people, you know, stop overcomplicating fitness or try to help them. Because what for me it's normal, carrying my gallon of water every day or choosing a healthier option when I'm at the restaurant, or I always ask for the sauce on the side or little things like that. That has always been a habit for me, going for a walk, like 10, 20 minutes, two, three times a day. And then people's like, oh my God, are you doing this? Are you crazy? Or when I get my eyebrows done, it's like, but how do you have time to work out? I'm like, you work out so much. I'm like, I don't. Look, I rode my bike to come here. See, I could have taken the car, but I rode my bicycle. It's not that complicated. You just have to make little changes like this. Or people, like, I still work out. I work 50 hours a day, 50 hours a week. I still work out twice a day, and I still make it work. And that's when people realize, like, they overcomplicate things. Like, they just spend so much time watching TV, and then I never watch TV. I just don't crave it. I don't know. I just have a hard time sitting down and just relaxing. So trying to do it, but when I'm on the TV, then I just do something else.
Yeah.
And I felt like all those little things about myself are just a habit that I should cherish and try to help other people about just being healthier, and not overcomplicate things yeah. I think that's what I realized the most. It's just for me, it's just like second nature, and that's pretty make it a lifestyle, and that I should really like, use that gift, I guess, of it being my passion and just, my lifestyle and help other people. Yeah.
And I think for motivated people, for driven people, taking that time to rest is so hard. And you kind of mentioned like it's so hard for you just to sit down and almost do nothing. And you actually had a post about it, I think it was today, about it's like one of the most important things you can do is sleep and rest and recover, because that's really where the results come from.
Hmm.
Um how do, for motivated people, how do you actually do that though? Because I think it's so easy to be like, okay, go, 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 because I want to like constantly be achieving or like driving myself to do more. How do you just like let it go and just, okay, say
Uh,
it. This is
so
my
I
time.
guess it's hard. I love to sleep though. So on the weekend I will always sleep more if I have to, or I just have to surround myself with people that are like the opposite of me. So then it helps me calm down. I guess it helps me relax. And actually, I try to set boundaries of not having, notification on my phone and my phone being on night mode, at 7 or 8 p.m. So then I don't check my phone, whatever it's for the next day. Things like this to like really help me shut down my mind. I think it's more my mind. If I go on a walk, I try to have to do it again. I used to do it before. Is to leave my phone at home, so I'm really focusing like this. That's it. That's just like my time of like being mindful, just breathing, just actually just taking a deep breath and just taking it all in. Because if you're outside and walking, but you're on your phone, you're missing the whole point here. You can just be walking on the treadmill and it does the exact same, So that's the little thing that I noticed that I have to do it again because I catch myself just taking my phone and doing this instead of just trying to relax. So it's the hard part for me. Yes, so still a work in progress. But or for example, like always, I used to always work out. I just felt like if I just needed to work out, so what I catch myself doing is just drinking less coffee at least once a week for today. So I'm more tired. I'm very tired, and so I don't want to do anything. I'm just gonna go for a walk, and that's it. So, but if I just drink more coffee, and then I'm happy, and I'm just way more productive, and then it's like, okay, let's go work out, at the gym, and it's like, So I guess for me, that's the trick is to not drink coffee. I force myself. I don't drink coffee after 2 p.m. That's the cutoff, no matter what. If I do, then it's just so that way at 5 p.m., 6 p.m., I'm a vegetable. Like I just don't want to do anything. And that's why I walk. That's it. But also, like, if you're really dieting or you're trying to lose weight, you have so much less energy, so it kind of forces you also to rest more, and you actually cherish being resting and watching TV. um, so I guess it all depends on everyone's situation and lifestyle and if they have kids and stuff, but it's just about, I feel this is more about setting boundaries and realizing what you keep doing all day long or all night long. Or I don't sleep with my phone in my room. The phone is outside of the bedroom. Never, never, never in the room. It's little thing like that that you just, because if you do, then you're just gonna keep checking the phone or check. I don't have TV in my phone in my room either. Just little thing like that that people don't realize because it's part of their daily life.
Right.
But if you take them out, it actually forces you. You're in the bedroom. That's it. It's just to sleep.
Yeah.
You know, little thing like that that you have to like implement, and I just it. I think it's more so also about being aware of people. A lot of people are not aware of what they're doing on a daily basis because it's literally second nature, which is bad habits. Some of them are bad habits. So if you're actually aware of what you're doing and you realize, like, okay, this is actually not good. Taking my phone into the bedroom, I'm going to bed. I want to sleep early, right? I'm going to bed, but I'm going to be checking the phone for fucking an hour or 2 hours. So you're missing the point too.
Yeah.
So it's something like that that people just have to force themselves. Like I just like to set myself boundaries and actually being self-disciplined with myself. People think it's crazy, but it's just that's what works for me. And it's the same with working out. It's the same with diet. You just, you can still have fun and go have a social life, but you no, thank you. When people ask, do you want to drink? No, thank you. It's
Yep.
this just self, being self-aware of and boundaries. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a big thing too. Like people don't actually, they say they don't have time or they don't have whatever energy, but they don't actually think about where their time and energy
Yep.
is going. It's
Exactly.
like if you wrote down what you actually
Mm-hmm.
do for
Yep.
like, a week, just, get the average, like take it and say, okay, well, maybe I'm spending a lot of time watching Netflix each night,
Yeah.
maybe 2 or 3 hours. Maybe I could dedicate, half of that to go working out or,
Absolutely.
working out and then coming back and doing, cooking a healthy meal instead of grabbing food. It's like, if you like, being self-aware, I think is one of the most challenging things to do in this day and age, because everything's trying to get our attention. Like you said, social media,
And yeah. Mm-hmm.
it's like a constant conversation, and people want to be a part of it, and it's so hard to be away from it because somebody might be talking about something you're interested in, or talking about you, or talking to you. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing about sleeping with your phone in another room, that could be really good for some people, but it would definitely take, a lot of discipline, a lot of
Yeah,
uh,
that's why I guess the self discipline in 75 Hard is a good way. It's like teach you self discipline. So for some people that don't have that, it's a good thing, you know. But it's really, yeah, like you said, it's really about self awareness. People don't realize how much time they actually spend. For example, I have this thing like to rest. That's just always been me. I guess my sister is the same. My parents is like we just like working and being moving. Like I just, even if I go to a beach, I just can't be laying down. I just need to do something. And I guess I have to, so I always have this thing where I have all my chores or tasks or meal prepping, grocery to do. And when this is done, then I can relax. If this is not done, I just cannot shut down my mind. Just my mind is like, okay, I have to do this and this and this. And then I'm just not paying attention to the TV. So I just also set, I've always have that where I have a time cut off for social media or notifications. So if I spend more than 2 or 3 hours a day, it just shut down. I've always had that, and I love it. Like I notice that if I do have that, then I just put my phone away. That's it. I'm doing whatever I have to do, the actual thing that matters. And then, or posting one post a day. So I do this. I reply to DM, comment, whatever, and then I put the phone away. You just have to discipline yourself to not always being on your phone or checking your phone all the time. You just uh, years ago, I will actually put an alarm, on my phone, and say like, okay, this is when I'm posting my, a post. This is when I'm checking email. This is what it is. This is how I started to discipline myself about the phone. It's just little thing that you have to do. And like you said, people are just not self-aware.
yeah. So when it comes to that, when it comes to like all the stuff we've been talking about, it's such a challenge. What would be kind of your biggest piece of advice though for somebody who wants to, be more self-aware, be more disciplined, who wants to just be a healthier version of themselves?
Uh, One thing that I used to do, that I still do with client, is the first thing is like write everything you eat, everything that goes into your mouth for 1 week. People like they underestimate everything. They just forget, oh, I had this drink, Dunkin's or Starbucks. Oh, I had this snacks that I eat, or I tasted that. And they don't realize actually, because they always complain like, oh, I'm not losing weight. I'm not like, no, if you're really in deficit, you will lose weight. And I think that's one of the thing. And then also, just like you say about the schedule, they don't know where their time goes. Just writing down, my planner has from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. It's just, it can be a little crazy for some people, but this is what works for me. I like to be disciplined. I know where my time goes. I'm always like doing one thing after the other. But that's what works for me, and that's how you're able to fit everything into your schedule. So you really have to like, okay, from this time to this time I wake up. This is when I go on the walk. This is when I do this, and this is how you're able to fit everything instead of just wasting time laying on the sofa watching Netflix, being on your phone, and then you realize like, oh my gosh, 2 hours just went by. But if you actually like, yeah, just have a planner and just realize what you're actually doing every day and then what you actually eat, that's the two most important thing of realizing, you know,
Um,
to be self-aware of like a lot of things in your life.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think that's really true and good advice and a good place to end this podcast. And it's been really good getting to talk to you tonight, getting to meet you, and kind of
Yeah.
hearing about your experiences and what you have to share and to help other people. It's really cool, you know, having, especially I think somebody that's not born here. It because we have like all these different things ingrained in us. We sometimes don't see almost what we're doing. We like kind of what we're talking about. We just do it. And having kind of that outsider perspective, it's like, oh wow, I didn't even realize that that's something that was maybe not helpful. So it's cool
Mhm.
to get just all different kind of perspective, and it's really cool to get yours as well.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me and for all this great question. I love being here. Thank you so
Thank,
much.